This is another episode of the Decoy Sports Podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the Decoy Sports Podcast for another week. My name is Jackson, and this is my best mate, Joel Thompson.
Hello, Jackson. Fogan.
What's going on?
It's good to be back.
I know, mate. I had a bloody week off. Had to get the big foot in, Big foot long.
That foot's out of my seat.
Yeah, truth tell, the big foot was a bit nervous last week. He was
Was it the first time on camera?
Yeah.
The pod? Yeah.
I think he's done it, but not on camera. You can tell he froze up a little bit. He got
better
talking.
though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He wasn't talking much at the start though.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, I'm talking so much, but I'd like go, what do you think? And he'd just be like, I think, it's all right, yep. And I'm like,
Thanks, mate.
anyway,
I'll talk again.
I'll just keep going.
Nah, you did good. Thanks for stepping in, mate.
Yeah, if you are watching.
If you are watching. Don't know if you do or not. But
Yeah, well, he says he does, but
we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. Oh yeah, before we get started, we always say it at the end, but I always forget to say it at the start.
Yeah.
But if you aren't, please follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube. We're at 48. We've been at 48 for like 2 weeks, and I was like, we were going up.
Getting
I know.
50.
Yeah, we were going up. I was like, fuck,
Yeah.
getting at 50 before the end of the season. But we've stayed at 48. So if you do watch, I know there's normally at least 150 or so around there. If you are watching, please subscribe. Let's try and get over 50. I know it's not a big number, but it's pretty cool for us. We've got 50 subscribers over a year. It's pretty nice.
Love it. It'd be sick.
Cool. All right. So make sure you do subscribe if you haven't, please.
What a game.
Mate, where do we start? Holy shit.
That was a fucking wild game. That's probably one of the best games of footy I've ever seen.
I was trying to think, like better games than that.
Yeah.
And
Like
I can't like to that high quality.
Yeah.
Of everyone.
Yeah.
That both teams and the ref, like the reffing performance, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like there was things that could have been called for both teams.
100%.
But he didn't call anything.
No, but that's good.
That's good. Like
Everyone
it was
was
the
like-
best for ages.
Everyone
man.
was saying, it's going to be a Penrith bias,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
And I've seen things like just on the internet today and last night and stuff, just saying like, fuck, like this should have been called. And then someone's like, yeah, well, what about like when like there was a head high or whatever? When what's his name?
Well, Liam Martin got like shouldered in the head.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Walsh got kneed in the head.
yeah. Like kneed in the back from Taruva.
Yeah,
Like
there was like some
slid in with his knees on the draw
there was
line.
like a half like crusher, but it kind of wasn't.
that. And I'm just like, but he didn't call anything.
No.
So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, that's how we want it.
Yeah.
Like that's how it should be.
Yeah, because if all of those got called, people would go, it's too many penalties.
We'd still
they
be
should have let
watching
the
it
game
now.
flow. Yeah.
It'd be that much stoppage, we'd be still watching it.
And because there was nothing called, it was the game just constantly flowed, which brought fatigue into it, which I think made what happened in the end.
100%.
Because
they're fucked.
And I said to Ed was messaging me, and I said to him about 30 minutes in, or 25 minutes, sort of, after Brisbane scored their last try, and I said, I could still see him coming back because I just think all that defending they did in the first half was going to come back.
It's going to catch up.
It's going to catch up with them, and
yeah.
they're going to get fatigued. It was like because they hadn't shown it yet.
Yeah.
And they come out pretty hot in the second half too. And I was like, it's
going
to like even in their defense because they were having to defend still a fair bit at the very start, and it wasn't until it sort of switched. Like I feel like the momentum swung a little bit.
Yeah.
And then there was that period where they were sort of a bit more dominant.
It's been funny like this year with the momentum. Like I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. Once you normally have that momentum this year, it's been hard to get it back.
Yeah.
And the fact that they somehow turn it around after those 3 quick tries.
You could almost say for both teams though.
Yeah,
both teams did
100%. All the momentum was with Penrith in the first half.
Yeah, the whole first half.
Then that try right before half time.
To be 8-6 is just wild.
Dude.
For that to be 8-6, I was like...
It should have been 20-0 at least.
Yeah. You couldn't say Brisbane were going to win it from there.
No.
But you could go, fuck, they've done a lot. They've done a lot to stay in the game.
They would have went in.
They've got every chance to win it.
They would have went in at half time I know we're only 2 points behind, but we're on top because of the amount of attack they withstood.
And there was the first 20 minutes, I think it was, I saw the stat, it was 11 from 11. And I think Panthers, and I think they've had completed 4 or 5 from 11.
Yeah.
Like the Broncos.
Yeah, I think
the
it was
first
3
11
from,
sets
it was 3
each.
from 9.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
think it was 5 from 11
Yeah,
they
there
had
you go.
completed.
Yeah,
So it was like
crazy.
mental, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking hell. Like,
Penrith, a team that's completing it like that at 100%, should be up by way more.
100%. Yeah. So like 6 less sets that had completed. And that was, obviously, we didn't talk about it last week, but me and Ed talked about it. And we just said, like, that was going to be the telling factor, I thought, was going to be the Broncos being young. And I think we sort of did when we called you. But, like, you know, the Broncos being young and just probably not finishing game, not even just closing games out, because they clearly didn't at the end, but even just the first half, they could have been put themselves in a better position than what they did.
Oh, a lot of errors.
Just from errors and stuff, but just like stupid errors, you know, like
like that Cobbo, like just nothing.
nothing. I think there might even been one. I think it was Tritoni marked the ball out of the air, like did all the hard work, and then like fucked up the play of the ball.
He did,
like right on the line.
Forward,
yeah. Like I think in commentary they said it was Walsh picked it up, he knocked it on, but he didn't. He was fine. It was
the play the ball.
The play the ball.
Yeah.
Just things like that, and it's just like fuck, like that. That's the shit that cost you.
Oh
you know?
yeah. And ultimately it did, because that was just defense they had to defend with.
And that's what I mean. It doesn't matter. Not necessarily cost them right there and then
on the scoreboard,
but later in the game
fatigue,
it did because of fatigue.
Yeah.
Like it caught up with them.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, like where do you start? Like, let's sort of run through the game from start to finish, I guess, because it probably deserves it. Like 100% deserves it.
We've got nothing else to really talk about.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So we're sort of talking about the start now anyway, and I think both, like the first to like 3 to 4 sets from both teams was just like at a pace.
It was like more than Origin.
It felt like State of Origin.
It felt like it was like a decider, everything on the line.
Yeah.
Like the most hard Origin game.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I messaged. I think I might have said it to you. I just said like it feels like literally a State of Origin.
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And I said it to Ed as well. So he just messaged me, and I was just like, this is. I don't remember a club game, even like grand finals or finals games,
not
being
that
that intense.
No.
Like just the speed and like
They were fucking like
just
hard
fucking
out.
smashing each other, man.
Dude,
like it just
seriously.
I think that it was like both teams knew they were the best. Like this year, and it's just like
100%.
we're better than you.
Yeah.
No, we're better than you.
No, we're the best. We're the best.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck you up. I'm gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, like because you can see, you think about like last year, even the Eels, they did really well to get there, but they probably knew they didn't belong in that same class.
They strung it together at the end.
Yeah.
And I had a fluky run in.
Yeah, but they knew they probably didn't deserve to be.
They were never.
there,
It was like Penrith were up here, Eels are down here. Penrith and Broncos are like here this year.
Yeah. So they both were like, "Nah, we're better," and you could see it. Like, and
they wanted to prove it.
Yeah,
and
there was no feeling out. They were just ripping in from the get go.
So good.
And then, like they withheld all that pressure, withheld, and then it was a purely just like
that try was
an assignment that was just missed. I think it was Capewell.
Yeah, it was.
He was definitely supposed to come around the back there.
Yeah.
And like get the back,
up,
and he just stopped running. Like he ran across and then he just stopped, and it's pure fatigue, right? Like he stopped running, and obviously Kenny came around the back, Mitch Kenny, and just like stooped
like
on
a
it.
thief in the night.
Yeah, and that's a pure, as they said on the commentary, like that's pure just effort. And Cleary said, well, they asked Cleary who's the best effort player in the whole comp, and he said Mitch Kenny. So that sort of shit shows it, right?
Totally. He put himself where he needed to be and got the scraps.
Yeah, exactly. And like from there, you're like, oh shit, like they needed to score because they had so much pressure.
100%.
If they didn't score it, it's pretty deflating. Like you never call them out clearly.
But like if you're the Broncos, you're thinking, all right, well, it's kind of fluky, right? It wasn't like a set play. It wasn't, they didn't breach our defense from a kick or whatever.
Yeah.
So you'd have to take some confidence still out of it. Like they didn't fucking just grind away at you and then break through.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like them scoring that, I think wasn't the worst thing.
No.
Like they were going to score eventually.
Yeah.
Being or something like that is better than them like set play, like block play, Toto scores or some shit, right?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Like, if you don't concede, like that's probably the better way to do it. Go, oh fuck, we fucked up.
We fucked it, but
it
that's
wasn't
like a lapse
they didn't crack out a fence.
Nah. And their defense was solid.
Yeah.
That
really
first
good.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Farnworth's defense out on those edges, he was unbelievable. Like he's just an absolute dog, mate. Like,
seriously.
even his runs
like
out of
folding
out of the backfield and stuff, like so
They're
good.
going to
He's
miss him next
Oh,
year.
massively.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were sort of talking about last week. I don't know who plays there next year for him. They're talking about maybe Cobbo moving into the centres.
Heard that.
You've got wingers there. They've got that, I think it's Mariner or whatever.
Dean Mariner.
He
They've
can
still
come
got
in.
Corey Oates.
Jesse Arthurs was really good
He's
last
a lock.
night.
He was so good.
Yeah. So he's not going to...
He was running like he was running through a brick wall.
Yeah. Just
like, seriously.
Yeah, he made a couple of line breaks. And
Like just split the defense.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you could that'd probably be the only thing I could maybe see is Cobbo moving in.
I don't think they're like recruiting
no one that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and then I think the game sort of just balanced out a little bit there for a while. I think after that is when Reynolds sort of did his hip flexor.
Yeah.
I thought he was gone.
I thought he was gone.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised at halftime he got a needle. Because he was hobbling the rest of the half.
I was saying it when it happened. I'm like, I wouldn't have been surprised if they took him off then.
That's
and
what I
needled
would have
him
thought.
up.
Yeah. He was going to play no matter what, at least for as long as he could.
Yeah.
And he was,
and he still played good.
He still played good, but I did notice his kicking wasn't as good.
No.
Like he still kicked goals and he was still kicking okay, but
he's not as pinpoint. Like he was obviously like a bit of like hesitation in it.
Yeah, it wasn't as like he didn't seem to have as long a kicking game as well. Especially in the second half, you saw when they needed to kick him out of trouble or when they were winning.
Yeah, it was probably 20 meters short of what he.
Yeah, he didn't have a long kick in him. Like I don't know if it was the breeze was maybe affecting it. I know that he was trying to a lot kick right to left because the breeze was blowing, especially in the second half. They were running back that way. You could see the breeze. Like there was like fucking rubbish and shit going across the field heaps. So I think the breeze swung. So I think it was going whatever way that is, but with the Panthers in the first half, and then it swung like that across the field. Yeah. So he was trying to get him into pockets on the right side, and he was kicking across. To like use the breeze with distance, but even then he wasn't getting too far. I know they were catching a lot of it on the full, and it was only like 30 meters out. Yeah. And then they were getting better field position back. So when that momentum switched in the second half, but
that Billy Walters 40-20 was a fucking gun, man.
Oh man, when he did that, I was like, holy shit!
He's been doing it all year.
I know. Like, he's gotten so much better the last second half of the year.
100%.
So I know most Brisbane fans, obviously, we live in Brisbane, and I know a lot of them, and like they were fucking calling for his head start of the year.
Sure.
Like, we'll never win with that. Well, like, everyone wanted to hunt halfway through the year. Remember?
As soon as they sign him, they were like, oh, it's your fucking Kevy's boy. It's bullshit.
Which
nepotism, like
makes
all this
sense
stuff.
a little bit at the start because he wasn't a well-known player and he wasn't good. But he's probably one of the most improved players this year, I would think.
He's definitely top three. Yeah. He's grown into it. Like his role so well.
Yeah. 100%, man. Yeah. And like obviously then they ended up kicking. This is the thing. I don't know. I think there's a time and a place for short dropouts, and I just don't know if like they did so many of them last night.
Yeah, I think
I just don't really get it.
The thought, I guess, is like Penrith. You saw Penrith; they were rolling up the field anyway, right?
But their defense was good, bro.
Yeah, but they're going to be on your try line within like fucking 2 tackles anyway. Might as well try and get it back.
Yeah, but then
have
you
a set
do that.
line, like
so they've done it already. They did it already. Cost them a try.
Yeah,
and they do it again, and he's got a fucked hip as well. So he's like
maybe like Reece Walsh or someone should.
His kicking's fucked at the moment. He's just. It was only like 5 minutes before. I'm pretty sure it was before it.
I think it was.
Yeah. So he's just cost him 8 points.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen people go, Reynolds cost him the game. Like that's bullshit. But it's decisions. It's not necessarily.
There's moments in the game where like
clearly they've gone in.
It.
Yeah, they've gone in with a thought or like plan of if we got dropouts, we're kicking short.
100%.
That's.
And then he changed it up to. He was trying to do that one where he like hit it low and short, hit the ground out.
Exactly, yeah.
But just wasn't nailing like he would.
Well, that's probably less. You've got it's probably a high percentage play in terms of, they're going to get the ball back.
Yeah, you might get it out,
it's
or
probably
they're going to get it around like 30 meters.
Exactly, it's a lower percentage of you probably getting it back.
Yeah,
but it's high. It's high percentage in terms of risk factor.
Yeah. It's more than likely it's going to stay in the field of play. Yeah. They're not going to get a penalty on the 10 meter line. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously they go 8-0 down there. Purely off probably 2 mistakes really at the end of the day.
You just knew and
it's looking pretty like they still had momentum.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they get another one here. It's almost game over.
Yeah,
like, I know Broncos can score quickly, which they showed in the second half. But
like going into halftime being 12-0 or whatever down.
Yeah, 14-0 down.
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's face it. Cleary's not missing.
Yeah, nailing kicks.
Yeah,
so, you know,
yeah.
14-0 down, you're like, oh, fuck.
It's fucking...
It's a lot to get back
climb,
in.
Right?
Especially with Panthers. I think they only conceded, I think it's 8.5 points a game. So, you know.
Yeah.
And then obviously they score end of the first half.
Like, it's one of those, like, you're the Panthers, you're like, don't fucking let them score before half time. And with the Broncos, you're like, we need to score before half time to get some like momentum swing.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it's funny actually, because I said when like it was about 21 minutes in, I'm pretty sure, something like that. And Flegler, it was pretty like, didn't really see what happened to him to get that like HIA assessment, but it was around the time he goes off.
Oh, I see. You think it was a bit of a like,
yeah.
Oh,
he was very quickly. He didn't go through any of the. They didn't go through any of the things.
He was only out in the tunnel for 5 minutes.
Oh, well, he was on the ground. He gave him water, and then I seen him sort of whisper something in his ear, and he stood up, and he's like just nodded, and then he just tapped his head like HIA, and they went off.
Yeah.
So I think it was like a free interchange. Let's
like a
use
sneaky
it.
One.
It's around the time we want to use it anyway.
Yeah.
You always knew he was coming back on because there was no real sign of him actually having a HIA. Like, but I think it's where that law can be sort of
like
played
a
little
loophole
bit.
in the because
like he's going to pass it, right?
Yeah.
Like to category 3, he's going to pass it.
Totally, yeah.
So they get a free interchange there, and he was one of their best players when he came back on. Everyone was talking about Haas, and Haas was good. I thought Flegler was fucking better.
Had like dog in him last night. Yeah.
I thought he was really good, and obviously he gets that ball and scores. Which really just brought him back in.
Doesn't happen to Penrith either. Like, no, who scores up the middle?
Fatigue, man. At the end of the day, and they had
to go
most
as
the
well.
Ball,
yeah,
you know? But it just showed Brisbane they found a way to put them under pressure. You know, like they just did, and right down the center, and they scored. Obviously, going into halftime, 8-6 is looking a lot better than 14-0.
Fuck yeah. For sure.
Yeah, dude, and
it fully swung the momentum.
Yeah, and it was anybody's game from there.
It was.
But you just knew because of all the defense that Brisbane had to do in that first half and the extra. I'd love to know at halftime what the stats were in terms of like how many sets to what tackles made and stuff at halftime.
I don't even know how to find that.
I don't know at halftime.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd suggest it was a lot.
Yeah.
Like it would have been a
It would have been massive.
It had to be.
Had to have been like 60-40 or some shit, right? Like possession.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously second half starts, and it was in the balance for a while. And I didn't think Penrith started very well. Like they didn't.
Cleary admitted it after the game.
Yeah.
He's like, I played like shit.
Yeah.
I was not kicking properly. Like,
and I said to you, like it was after all the Brisbane tries, but I did message Ed and I said Cleary's been not very good tonight. Like his kicking has been off. Like he hadn't really done anything, man. It was like at least 60 minutes into the game.
It was 60.
And then obviously he just
turned it on.
Like as soon as I sent that message, a minute later,
he was
took over.
No shot for Clive Churchill.
Not a chance.
60 minutes in.
Yeah.
And then he hit 20 minutes.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, who do you reckon scored it? And I was like, well, it's going to be Mam if Broncos win now because he scored 3 tries by the time she sort of was asking.
Could have even been like Flegler or something.
Yeah, before that I said, you know who I thought had a fucking unbelievable game? Stags. I thought he was so good.
He was running over.
Mate, his runs were fucked.
Yeah.
Like actually fucked.
Yeah.
Up until he let that try in on Crichton.
That was
like the one-on-one mistake, and you know it happens.
Yeah.
Can't really do it in grand finals, but that's the only thing I can look at and go, that was the worst part of your game. Yeah. Like he was fucking
and it wasn't, and there was like 3 other people there too that couldn't stop him. So it was like,
and it was crazy. You look at that and you go, I was talking about it last week with Ed. I just said like I don't feel like Crichton's going to go to the Bulldogs and do much for that team because I just don't feel like he's week to week consistently like going to blow. He doesn't do anything like that you're just like, oh my fucking God.
He's not like you're like.
I wasn't trying to say he was bad.
No.
Like, yeah.
But he's not like your attacking superstar. Like he's not Callum Ponga or Trebojevic or Walsh or whatever. But you know what you're going to get out of him. You're going to get a strong defensive center.
Yeah.
and he's going to be
I
probably
just
their
think
goal
people
kicker.
think he's going to come there and like change their team.
I don't think,
because he's not like a.
but he'll bring like
It's not like a Walsh
winning.
going
He'll
there.
bring like a winning culture.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, for sure.
like he's got that essence about it. Nothing's going to fucking phase him.
Yeah. I just don't think it'll change as much as what they like. People think it will.
Yeah, I don't. I agree.
But like, he just seems to in big games find something different.
He does.
Like, because you just look at him in bigger games. Like,
Well, he did it
week
in
to week at
Origin
the-
too. Like
well,
he
yeah.
played semi good in the last.
first game, no.
Yeah.
Like everyone said he did, but
No.
we agreed that he was
third
shit.
game he was good.
Third game he was really good.
Yeah.
But you sort of look at it and you say, like, fuck, like through week to week, he doesn't really do that much.
No.
Like, he doesn't score that often.
No.
I never put him down to ATS. He just never seems
yeah.
to score whenever you do.
If you didn't have him at ATS last night,
I did.
no, like I'm just saying in general. If in general, if you didn't have it in,
You don't know footy.
you're done.
Yeah,
Scored in the last 4
Yeah.
grand finals now.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
hectic.
I think everyone had him down, man.
Had
If
to.
you didn't, you just, you're silly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, like, I guess, but yeah, as I said, it was like sort of in the balance. And then, just steps on the outside. I'm trying to think of the 3 different tries, Like the first one,
So that was
I
the
think he
first
stepped
one,
back in off, he might have stepped back in off, I think it was Yo.
Yeah, it was.
So
Yeah.
he stepped back in off Yo, just
Gassed him.
tired.
Yeah.
Just super tired.
That's when he got, and then
And then
Edwards
just
couldn't
gassed
even
Edwards.
keep.
Yeah.
Then the second one was the Reece Walsh break, wasn't it?
Yeah.
was
And
that
then that
third
was
one?
was that on the very next tackle? Like the very next set?
Yeah, it was.
Like
it
off
was
the
like
kickoff.
boom. Yeah.
It's off the kickoff, and then
Can't
I'm
remember
trying to
the-
think. I think Walsh literally just absolutely fucking broke Cleary's ankle
Yeah,
and did the step back in. It was
That's-
like the exact
that
same
was
thing.
the second one, I think, wasn't it?
I thought that might have been the third.
Well, I don't know what the second. I can't
What was
remember
the third
second
one?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember off the top
But
of my head.
Yeah, but that one that
There's all a blur because it all happened in like fucking
yeah, it was
5
like
minutes. And I was
literally
like, what
5
the fuck?
minutes. Yeah,
I think the third one, didn't he like catch the ball near the line and just score? Pretty sure. He wasn't too far out, I think, on the third
yeah, I'm
one.
not too sure.
The second one, I think, was
Like a little set play or something.
Cleary just fucking, he broke his like
He texted me like, clear his ankles are gone.
he just stepped back in on him. He's like, oh shit. Like, he literally was like, just got buckled.
Yeah,
And it's like, almost like he woke the beast.
yeah.
Like, he
It
literally woke the beast
Like
from then
you
on, mate.
probably shouldn't have done that.
No. It was silly. Shouldn't,
Fuck.
yeah, should have just, you know,
Just took the tackle.
took the tackle and stayed up by like 8 or whatever you were, like it was worth it. Yeah, that was either the second or the third. I can't remember what try that was. But I
It's
think that
all
might-
good
yeah,
tries.
all good tries, man. I'm trying to think of what the third one was. Why
Yeah.
can't I think of it?
I don't know. So many.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Imagine if you had like fucking Ezra Man.
I had
3
unders in
plus.
most of my bets. So I
Did
just
ya?
didn't think it was
I
going to be
didn't-
very high scoring.
I didn't do over unders.
I just did to try
We
and
had
bump it
one-
up a bit.
I had one was Cleary anytime, Crichton anytime, but I had Herbie anytime.
Yeah, I
Obviously, Herbie didn't score.
What did I have last night? Let's have a look.
But fucking good on anyone that got on live betting. With
Yeah.
When it was 24-8, it was paying $51 for Penrith.
Yeah, I had under 38.5 points. I just thought it'd be low scoring.
Yeah.
And then I had Nathan.
And at half time, you would have been confident with that. Yeah.
Had Nathan Cleary, Jesse Arthurs, and Brian Toto. I just thought, like,
Yeah, they
out
contain
wide.
Toto.
well, there's
Like,
no real,
so
there's
well.
nothing went out wide. It was fatigue through the middleman,
Yeah.
all of it.
Like,
And then
who would have picked Leota to score?
yeah,
Who would have picked fucking Flegler to score? Mitch Kenny even to score? Like,
and then my other bet was Panthers 1-12, under 38 points. Stephen Crichton and Tony Staggs.
no, not too
Well,
far
not too
away.
far off that one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I only had the one.
Yeah, I had
And
one with
I was
Ez.
one away.
I just had a bet with mates one.
Yeah,
Gamble responsibly.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it was crazy, man. Like, obviously, yeah, they just had such a... you know what it reminded me of? I don't know if you don't really watch the Super Bowl, but like a few years back, if anyone does, the Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons, and they were up by like... The Falcons were up on them by... It was a good like 20 points or so going into the last quarter. And it just had the same feeling because like you had this champion team who's won however many. They've got a guy steering it, Nathan Cleary, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You know, it just felt the exact
Was
same.
this in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in the Super Bowl, and it just felt the same, man. Like, I can't even explain it, but
Like something was gonna happen.
I just could feel. You could just feel like.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything, but then after I sent that message when they were up like 24-8 or whatever it was, and I sent that message to Ed saying he clearly hasn't done anything tonight, and then literally 30 seconds. It was in the same set, I reckon. It was probably the start of the set to the end of the set.
Yeah.
And he just steps back in, goes through the line, back to Leota. Why the fuck Leota's backing up there out of anyone?
Like you'd expect to be Edwards there.
Wild. Did you hear that story about him this week? Leota?
About how he moved over.
He left
was
school when
nine
he
or
was
some
9
shit,
and
yeah.
worked as a bricklayer when he was 14.
Yeah.
Some
And apparently,
shit.
like he would rock up to like SG ball training or whatever, in like covered in concrete because he's bricky, and they're like, we're gonna sack him. And they're like, he told him this story or whatever, and they're like, oh, we'll get you a better job.
Yeah.
And they got him a job as like a car detailer.
Yeah.
They called like the car detailer. They're like, what's this kid's work ethic like? And he's like, hardest worker I've ever had in my life. And they're like, all right, that's the kind of guy we want around.
Yeah.
And
That's sick.
just fucking the rest is history.
That's so good.
Hectic
love
that
that
like
shit.
they're like Leota and Harris are like 27.
Yeah. That's the issue with that team, bro. They're still young.
It's not the issue. Yeah, the issue for everybody else.
100%.
Like,
That's what I mean. I'm not
it's-
saying, well, both those teams are.
Yeah.
You take out like Reynolds, yeah. So
Yeah.
you probably need another half in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
But,
But I think like
you know, other than that,
Yeah.
fuck me.
With-
Maybe him and Capewell are the only two that are that old, right?
Flegler's going to be a massive loss.
Yeah.
So is Farmworth.
They will, but I could see someone like, you know, they're getting like Fletcher Baker in, and he was really good for us the end of the year.
Yeah.
He could definitely like, it's not going to be like for like,
No, but,
right? But he
do
could
a job.
definitely go in, you know, he's from Queensland. He's a couple of years ago, he was one of the better wrapped forwards coming
Yeah,
through, and then he
up and
sort
coming.
of
Plateaued a bit. Yeah.
you know. But then towards the end of the year, he started to show that promise again. So they're getting him in. They're not going to lose a lot there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, forwards
Like,
are
you still
forwards
have
at the end of the
Haas
day,
there,
man.
right?
Okay, you got Haas's and stuff who are just next level.
Yeah.
But there's not going to be too much of a drop off
No.
there. And they've got, you know, they've showed with their team this week, like they've got the young guys. They didn't pick Tapau
No.
or Tapau, what the fuck his name? I can't say his name.
Tapa'o.
They haven't picked him, and he was in their team, but they went with the younger guys
Yeah.
that are coming through. They stayed with them, you know. So they've clearly got other people there as well.
Fucking Jordan Ricky was good.
Yeah, he was good.
I thought he like could have been a smoky for fucking club if they won. His defense was like wow.
Yeah, really good.
But it's just another young guy, right? Like
Yeah,
they got
So, I mean,
that
they got
Pikura and all
Carrigan's
that.
not that old.
Nah.
He's what, only 24,
Yeah,
25, I think.
yeah.
Crazy.
It's so
He was
wild.
battered last night. Battered.
Oh,
Wasn't
was
he?
working
He was
out-
fucking...
working his cock off.
he
like,
was
seriously.
so battered. Every time they showed him, I was like, holy
Yeah,
fuck.
like bit of head, like
Just fucking
fucking
claret
hair coming
everywhere
out,
and
can't.
cuts and fucking hair everywhere, and he just looked fucked.
Oh,
He looked fucked.
fuck, mate.
Yeah,
Sexy
dude.
cunt still.
It's fucked how young both those teams sort of
It
still
is
are. Man.
wild. Like
Even
it could potentially be the next couple of years, like another.
I hope
Broncos,
it is almost.
Penrith
Other than
grand final.
like obviously one of our teams. in, but
Obviously, yeah. Maybe
fuck,
yeah.
Imagine like a three, like a sequel, and then maybe like a
like a trilogy. like-
trilogy of just
and maybe like
those.
Broncos gets the next one, and then
Yeah.
it's like decider. But,
That'd be sick.
yeah.
Fuck. But yeah, dude. And then I just
Wow.
have to go back to the game.
Yeah.
Cleary obviously does that, and then he does the 40-20.
Just turned the whole game on its head.
After
when-
that 40, to be fair, they didn't score off that 40-20, did they?
No. But they like was pressure.
It was the
right?
momentum. It changed the momentum
100%.
because there was still, even though they scored that try, it swung it a bit.
It did, but then
if they did,
Walsh,
if he just
like,
kicked
made
down,
some like big break.
I remember
and-
that, yeah.
yeah. And like, oh, maybe it's not
Yeah.
over. Maybe it's like the comeback's gone. You know.
Yeah, because they were still breaking the line and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like there was still a lot of there was
It was
gaps
tied
for
on
both
bo-
teams.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, and then what happened after that? After the 40-20, what was the next try? Was that the Crichton try? Pretty sure it
I
was.
think it
eh?
was. Yeah. Yep.
So I think they got repeat set. They kept getting them in goals. Remember? Like
Yeah,
they kept
forcing
getting them
dropouts. Yeah.
I think it might have been they might have scored off the back of the one where Walsh got the knees in the back. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they did.
Because like that wasn't really that wasn't really like in the in goal. It was kind of like half out, and then he got it, and then Taruba come in, slid in with his knees, probably a penalty, but whatever. And then I think Crichton came over the top, and then Flegler came in and fucking was angry about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure they scored off that set.
I think they did. I think that's where Crichton scored. Yeah.
And then that's just great one-on-one, as we've already talked about it, obviously.
And like, if you're a Broncos fan at that point, you're thinking like, hurry up, clock.
Yeah.
Because like they're fucking coming.
They were, you could tell they were just hanging on from then on, man. Like after that try, like I kind of just felt it happening.
You saw
like,
their heads drop and they're like, is this actually happening?
From that moment, even though they were in front, I would have put, like, probably not if you saw like if you went to a betting place or whatever, but if you had to do a head-to-head from that moment, even though Panthers were down,
Penrith would have been paying shorter.
I would have been paying Penrith shorter for sure.
For sure.
Like I just could just feel they were going to win that, man.
From then on, come home with a wet sail. Yeah. Like there was like no stopping them. This is how they were going to do it. Like when they were going to get that try.
It's crazy to think as well, man. Like you look at that. Like I think the thing that people aren't talking about is they had a lot of injuries in the back half of that game.
Yeah.
Luai went off
53 minutes.
53 minutes. Yep. Isaiah Yeo went off for ages with the HA. I don't even know if he came back on.
I don't think he came back on. So he did all that at the end without his two key men.
Yeah. So your two key playmakers that so he had to literally do it in by himself. He had obviously they had Cogger, and that was purely for that reason. On the bench, but I didn't see him do much really.
No, but he just like
did enough.
Got it around, like did his job.
Then who else came on? Came off. Sorry, I think. Wasn't Martin? No. Someone else. Sorensen came off for the HIA.
Yep.
And then I think Tago came off as well.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Tago was off.
Because that
they had what's
Lindsay
his name?
Smith was
they had Garner out in the
Garner
out in the right centre. So they had four pretty key players. You'd say.
Well, of their starting role,
good attacking player, obviously.
Yeah.
Your two other main sort of attacking players with the ball,
and Sorensen's like your fucking steal on that side. Yeah.
So they brought. When Garner came on, he came on the left edge to play that role, which makes sense.
Yeah.
And then they had to move someone else out there. I don't know who they put out there, but then they had to put
Lindsay Smith or something.
They might have, I think they put him out there, and then they had to put Garner into right centre. So that's what no one's really talking about that either.
It's like
they had 4 or 5 injuries at the end of the game.
Makeshift fucking like edge really.
Yeah. And they weren't forwards. They weren't all forwards. They were like key players. Key players.
Like they're key
players.
They're
proper key players. And other than obviously like probably the most, which was Cleary, and he literally just did it himself.
If he went off, they were fucked.
Yeah,
like he won that game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like moments I'm trying to think of people in Origin games who have had that much of an effect on a game.
We'll have to do like Munster 2020, right? Game 3.
That much?
I think so.
No, I'm thinking in grand finals.
Okay. Well, you said Origin, so...
No, I just said that much in games.
No,
in big
Origin.
games.
Yeah, and you said Origin. So I'm giving you Origin example.
Well, I meant... If I did say Origin, I meant grand final.
Well, I'm not a minor reader.
I'm just telling you. Right now. Can you think of anyone?
Like Thurston 2015? But then he
only
came in at the end.
That's
too,
what I mean.
Right?
But it wasn't
that's what this was.
Yeah, but like, what did Thurston really do in that game?
Yeah, true. It was only that field goal.
That was Morgan that passed that ball.
Yeah.
You know, like he only had a field goal at the end, and he missed.
Yeah,
the fucking kick. Like,
well, it's hard to compare, right? Because this is the biggest comeback in grand final history.
Yeah, obviously being a Roosters fan, the only one that I can think of is Freddie in 2002. Like I've watched that game obviously a lot, like back in the day, and if you watch that game, the effect he had in the second half, he got knocked out by that Richard Villasanti. Like he was on the ground, old mate come in and headbutted him, remember? And it like started all this shit. And then from then he just like, I think he kicked a 40-20. There was like 3 or 4 things that like he just fucking like literally brought it home for him. And it was like, he just took over the game. Like that's one I can remember.
I think we might be missing the most obvious one.
What's that?
Joey Johns 97.
I'm not going back that far.
What?
Well, like he had one moment, but can you remember? I'm trying to think of moments. Like he took over the last 25 minutes last night of that game. That just like you'd have to have a good think, but I'm sure there is some.
There would,
Like I'm just obviously thinking off the top of my head, and that's one that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
But Like you can find a moment, but I'm talking about like dominating the last bit of a game or like a game.
Well, I don't remember it exactly, but like the 2000, or it wasn't a grand final, it was the prelim. 2006 prelim was Broncos versus Bulldogs. You hear stories about it, and they talk about it on like Bloke and stuff.
Or Lockyer.
Yeah, like they were getting beat like 20-4 at half time, and Willie Mason's
big game,
like big mouse.
I'm just trying to think of grand finals, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
if anyone knows, put in the comment. Like if you can think of one that's better or like one that was as good, put it in the comments, because like I genuinely can't think of anything that was like what I watched the other night.
That
like you can think, as you said, Origin. There's ones like Joey 05. Like you can think of those that was the exact same. Like, I watched actually Hello Sport like a little while ago. They did it was like one of their early days before they were even like big, and they like were sitting down and they watched the game. Yeah, they were just like smashing beers watching the game, and then like they did a commentary on it. Of like that game, and you're like, holy fuck, like he did actually just take over that game. The last half of it. Yeah, that was probably the closest thing I've seen to it. Yeah, that like I can think of.
Is it like, you know, they talk about like having their Joey Johns moment, having their Lockyer moment, or like whatever. Like, I think that was Cleary having his
Cleary moment.
The moment, right? Yeah. Like, he's been a great player.
Yeah.
Like, obviously steered him to 4 straight grand finals, 3 wins now, but like never owned a moment when he needed like.
We got the Clive Churchill, I think, in 2021.
Yeah, but the performance was nothing like that.
But I don't think it was like that.
No. That was just because he's the gun, like halfbacks generally win it or whatever, right? But fuck me.
It was good to see him win a different way.
Yeah.
A come from behind win.
Yeah, not
they
just
normally
like
lead and
fuck out of him.
They normally grind, get a lead, win.
Yeah.
They never
18
you
to
don't
8
ever see him come from behind. That shows a champion team as well, because it's like they can win anyway as well. It doesn't matter. They'll fuck you up anyway. You can,
which is fucking scary.
It is scary.
Because like you could have them, like you had them down 24-8, and they'll still come and get you.
Yeah. Yeah. And then obviously like the last try, there was obviously just pressure.
Yeah.
I think there was like 6-7 minutes to go, and it was just constant. And I'm like, Broncos have been very, very, like, it was weird. Even though they defended so well, they conceded still 26 points.
Yeah.
And it's just wild to think that. But like they did defend really, really hard, and they just the amount of ball that was on their line. Like they did really well for as long as they could. But
it's so like
it was just him stepping back inside, like because they were actually defending. They were throwing a fair bit at him.
They had answers for every spread.
Yeah,
everyone
couldn't get in. No. There was one where I think where Leota, it might have been Fisher Harris. It was either Leota or Fisher Harris like busted, and I thought he was going to get through on the line.
Yeah,
and I think Hetherington.
It was Fisher Harris.
Hetherington made this fucking unbelievable tackle, like right on the line. It was like proper grand final moment.
They said in the commentary, they're like, if they win this,
that might have been a bit earlier, but they're like, he made one, and there was another one, I think Leota or Fisher Harris, like right at the end there. And I think maybe Ricky made the tackle and brought him down, and then obviously they were a bit shattered on the left, and he just swung, and then just boom, straight back in.
Foot.
Yeah, straight through.
Yeah.
Under the post, and that was it, man. You knew it.
Yeah.
Like obviously there was going to be a minute or two left.
It was a minute, fucking 40 or something.
As soon as they got the ball back, and they still had another moment there. Obviously with like they had the ball, they had about 40 seconds, and that was probably the perfect example of what Reece Walsh is at the moment. Yeah. That exact moment. So it's like he's very, very good. We all know that he's like an elite
raw talent.
Like amazing player, not discrediting that at all. But it's like that exact moment where he goes, I'm going for it's it right now, and he throws a pass where he could have just taken the tackle, and they would have had 2 or 3 more tackles.
Like he didn't need to
throw it. There was nothing on, and it's that sort of brain explosion stuff, and he normally has 1 or 2 of them every game.
Yeah,
every game. He had one in the first half where they kicked. He was about like 7 meters out. He got the ball, instead of just taking 3 or 4 steps, taking the easy tackle on the 10-meter line. He gets it, he turns, he tries to run along the line, come back in again. They make the tackle, push him in the in goal when they were already under pressure. Yeah. Like it's moments like that. Like he still hasn't gotten through that yet.
He's so young.
So young, I'm not saying it's like, you know, but it's those moments where it's like you just can't give him.
That's when you've got to be like, tell him take the tackle,
and that's where like
set up, get the spread. Like they had so much success with Ezra Mam down that left side, it would have been like, take the tackle.
Yeah.
Now let's spread it, get it Ezra. Something might happen, you know.
I'd like to know if he did. I know he was sort of holding his knee early on in the game.
Didn't look like it was bothering him though.
I don't think it bothered him, but then I would like to know because I think it was like 25, 30 minutes into the game and he'd only had 2 touches.
Yeah.
Like other than like actually getting the ball off a pass.
Yeah, like he just
He'd only
wasn't
touched the
going in there.
ball twice, man.
It's like
He didn't go looking once.
Yeah.
Like, and every time you'd like they sort of said it once and I was like, oh yeah, and I was watching and he just never came into shot.
Yeah.
He was never in the shot.
It normally he's there.
You should be running around the you know, just taking some runs. He did in the second half, but they obviously like talked to him probably at half time, but he did go missing a bit there in the first half,
and he was
which
like
cost him a bit. And they were out of position too.
For sure. And he was out of position for that 40-20. He was out of position for another kick.
He's walking.
Yeah. Out of position for another kick where they kicked it and it didn't go like it was never going to be a 40-20.
I think the knee in the back one as well.
Yeah.
He was walking then and he was sort of out of position.
Yeah.
Because I think Toto, who's on that side? Yeah, it was Toto.
Yeah.
It was Toto on that side. And he wasn't sort of back. And he was walking and they sort of sorry, not Toto, Cobbo.
Yeah.
My bad. Sorry, Cobbo. Yeah, Cobbo was there, but he wasn't sort of in the position that he didn't have to be though. It wasn't supposed to be his job.
No.
And then Walsh was sort of walking in the middle and he sort of put it in between.
Yeah.
And by the time he sprinted and dropped back, that's the whole reason they, you know, because he was slightly out of position. And it's those little moments, like he can do all the other stuff, which looks really great.
But
and,
that's the nitty gritty
break
shit.
and clear
Like
his
you have to
ankle
be doing.
and, all that. But then he fucks up
if
those
you can't
moments.
do that, then like doing the other shit's not going to count for much.
And I think he had a good game in terms of the attacking stuff he did. You know, like he obviously the Cleary one. I think he set up another one.
Yeah.
You know, like he sort of, and he made a couple of breaks, and he was a bit busier in the second half. But it all doesn't matter if you fucking make mistakes.
Yeah,
that
in those
cost
big
you
moments.
big moments, and then your team end up, you know, conceding from it or whatever. So
Yeah.
very mixed game from him. Like I don't.
Yeah. It's a learning curve, eh? Like,
you couldn't really give him much higher than a 5 or 6 out of 10 in that game because of the you know the moments he had were good, were fucking awesome.
I still reckon probably like a 7.
I don't think I could give him that high. He cost the team too much in certain moments, man. Like he just, you know, he put him under pressure in the first half, doing stupid shit, running back into the end goal. You know, out of position, wasn't involved enough in the first half at all. I didn't think.
That's just like fatigue, right? They were on their line defending. He's running back and forth.
It's grand final, man.
No, I know, 100%.
They're all in the middle, running up and back and forth, and making tackles.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's like get involved a bit, dude. You know.
I think.
So I thought he struggled a bit. To be honest,
7. I'll give him.
It's fine with It's your opinion. It's my opinion, man. I'd give him like a 5, maybe 5.5. I didn't think he was very good. I think he really cost him. He made 86 meters in total.
Yeah.
I think Edwards I saw made over 300.
298.
Well, on the NRL, that would have been on Fox or whatever it was.
Fox, yeah.
So on the NRL one, which we normally go off, I think he made 328 or something like
true,
that.
Yeah. Fuck.
So,
just,
you know what I mean?
Tripled him,
it shows you.
Triple,
and that's effort. He's doing the same shit, running back and forth and all that sort of stuff. So, you know, hey, it's a learning curve, right? And what did we say? What was our tip?
Yeah.
Our tip was Panthers, probably just.
Yeah.
Broncos probably need to lose one to win one, right?
That's what they say.
Exactly what we said,
yeah.
you know? And it's probably right, man, at the end of the day.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Broncos win it next year.
Yeah, neither. I just look at that and you can't, I know, like, it's hard because you don't want to discredit anything Panthers did, and I never would. Like, that was unbelievable what they did and Cleary did and what they came back for. And I find you see too many reviews or people and they talk about the negatives over the positives. So I don't want to say anything in terms of like what the Panthers did was they won the game.
Yeah.
The Broncos didn't lose the game. They won the game. They went out and won it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the Broncos should have lost it from there.
No.
They just... They fucked it.
They
absolutely fucked it.
Oh,
you can't lose that game from that position.
No.
You can't be 24-8 with 20 minutes to go in a grand final and lose that game. You cannot do it.
You can't tell me that you're like every player in their team is not so hyped that they can't just like put it together for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And you can't even put your finger on why it happened. Like other than fatigue.
Yeah.
But it's
That
just like
first
they
half,
just
yeah.
didn't close the game out, man.
No.
And you had
And is
Reynolds
that,
there
like-
that should have closed
But
that out
is
for him.
that
But then you
like
can't
his
just put it all on
groin
there.
injury and
Yeah, but you can't
Ezra
really
Mann's
just say
not a
just
kicker.
him, man.
No,
either, you know?
for sure you can't. It's a team effort. Like that, the team lost that, not Reynolds.
Yeah, it's fucked, man.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your finger on, really.
Yeah. It's it's a massive bed shit.
Huge.
Like I don't want to like rub salt into the wound and like kick them while they're down because like I've grown to like them this year,
Yeah,
the players and all that. I still hate the Broncos as a team, but like they deserve to win that after the performance they put in, but they fucked it for themselves.
they fucked it, man. And
Yeah.
like I sort of said to you last night, like I was going for him.
Yeah,
Like
part of me
I
was,
tipped Panthers.
I'm the exact
I
same.
tipped Panthers,
Yeah.
but I was going for them because I was like, oh, it'd be cool to see him win. They haven't won for so long and all the rest, right?
Yeah,
It'd be cool to see him win.
gun players.
I don't mind if Panthers win because you still haven't seen a three-peat, and that's fucking cool as well to see.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind. But then when it was getting close, I was like, fuck, I hope they hold on because it's like
Yeah.
be good. When it didn't happen and they lost the way they did,
Mm.
the old part of me that hates the Broncos was kind of like, yes, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't help it. I was kind of like,
yeah.
if they
Like,
were going to
I feel
lose,
bad for you, but like also like
if they were going to lose, I kind of like that's the way I want all my
Yeah.
mates to cop. Like you know what I mean? Like all the people I know that support the
Yeah.
Diffie. Nah, like, all the people I know that
he's
support.
texting me last night too. He's like
Yeah.
every time Ezra Mann scores, he's like, "Chee-hoo!"
What did he say at the end?
Nothing.
That's- I find Broncos supporters are a bit like that as well.
Yeah.
You know, they're very I wouldn't say humble in their winnings.
No.
They sort of, and it's quite crazy for a team that hasn't won since 2006 to be that way. But I just feel like that's Queensland people in general,
Yeah.
right? It seems to be.
Yeah.
But like it kind of is funny that they lost that way and just
Yeah.
got their hearts
It's-
absolutely broken right at the end.
Like
Especially
that's the
being
worst,
that far in front.
That's the worst
know,
way to lose.
the worst.
That is
It happened
by
to me this
far-
year, dude.
Yeah.
Not by that, not like
No,
that.
and not in the high
Like we lost in the last minute, but
Yeah.
it was we shouldn't have even been in front.
No.
You know,
and really shouldn't even got to the
got to where we
finals,
were.
right?
So I was like, oh, sweet.
yeah. Like
Everything here is a bonus, but yeah,
that is the worst way to lose
fuck
a grand final,
a grand final
ever.
man.
Well, it
I can't
is
remember.
ever.
I can't remember a team being that far in
But-
front and losing. Can you?
It's never happened before in a grand final.
Not that
That's
far.
that's the biggest comeback in grand final.
Is it?
ever?
It's not even that big.
No,
Was
that's
it
how
18
tight.
is it 18 points? 16.
18.
18.
16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. 16 points. Not even that far.
No.
But yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like biggest comeback ever. And to be now, that's the history, right?
Yeah.
The Broncos of like current era
Choked
They
twice.
choked it on that 2015.
Because what do you like? It's a
And they
bad word to
choked it.
say, but they have. You
Well,
can't
it was
say anything else.
Like
They've choked.
you just said it before. It was they lost that game.
Yes.
Panthers won. Yeah, the Panthers like come over them at the end.
And
It was
won.
theirs to lose.
And you can't discredit the Panthers for what they did.
no,
But you got to, and you don't want to just talk shit on the Broncos.
No.
But like they did lose that game, man.
it was theirs to win, and they should have won.
Yeah.
Every other day of the week, they should win that game.
100%.
But just couldn't ice it. It's like
What do you
fuck.
say?
You can't say anything. Like
Yeah.
it's wild.
Crazy, man.
It is crazy.
Oh, fuck. Who's your early tip next year then? Who do you reckon?
Has to be like Panthers again, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm probably going to go. I'll say Broncos next year. I just think that's going to fuck them.
Like fire in the belly.
Oh, going to
Yeah.
hurt them hard next year.
Yeah.
Just like they're missing the 8 this year, and then they sort of just, like it sort of got to that point of the year where they started to go shit last year, and they went up another year. I feel like they're just going to go up that next year again.
Yep.
They're going to miss a couple people like your Herbies and
Flegler.
Fleglers and stuff.
And injuries like
You never know.
Reynolds is a year older.
Yeah.
Like what happens there?
We'll have to see what happens, but and
Yeah.
that's off any team, man. You know,
Oh,
Cleary
totally.
could do his ACL in round 1 and
100%.
be out the whole year. Who knows,
100%.
right? But yeah, I think early prediction. I'm going to go Broncos.
Yeah, I think you have to. I had a look at sports bet earlier. Like Panthers are 375
Yeah,
to win next year.
Yeah.
Broncos are $5.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they're the money. Where the money's at.
yeah, for sure.
Like you'd be very surprised if either of those teams are not in the grand final.
If you had to pick a like surprise team next year to make, say, like make it deep into the finals, who would you say? Like
How
similar,
far deep?
similar to like what the Warriors did this year.
So make it to a prelim,
Yeah, or the week before maybe. Like
Like what Newey
past
did?
the first week maybe.
like how Newey
Yeah.
did it. So Newey, mate.
Yeah, but that's probably not a surprise team next year, is it? Because like,
They're
do you know what I
been
mean?
there.
You've
Yeah.
been there this year.
Maybe the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs.
Maybe
I'm going to go the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I
They've
just
got
think
some
they've
good recruits.
I think they've recruited well this year.
I think they missed Tom Gilbert a lot.
And it's going to be
this
the
year.
last year that Bennett will sort of be there
Yeah.
until he sort of does whatever he's going to do.
Yep.
I could see the Bulldogs. The Dolphins
Yeah.
being that team for me.
I wouldn't be surprised if like Gold Coast or some shit like
Mm.
under Des Hasler like pulled it together. They got such
Yeah.
a good team,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
maybe
that's true. Gold
yeah.
Coast have a decent team.
they do.
another
Des
drive.
Hasler's like a good.
Yeah,
Gonna bring them together. Like he gets teams to finals.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
yeah. Who's your early prediction for like the wooden spoon next year? You reckon?
Fuck.
It's hard to go past the Tigers again, eh?
Yeah. What sprung to my mind then was Tigers, Dragons, or Raiders.
I don't think the Raiders will be that low. He just seems to get them up when the back's against the wall
He
to
does
win enough games.
Yeah,
you know what
he
I mean?
does. But
They win close games,
No,
whereas the teams at
like,
the bottom lose
they're
close
fucking
games.
like
don't have a
their
s- they-
spiritual guy like Croker.
They don't know
he's
halves,
gone
bro. They don't know halves.
Who?
Raiders next year.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like, they don't know halves.
No. And
So-
Croker's retired.
Mm.
Like, I know he didn't play that well, but he's still a club
Yeah.
man, right?
You think Flano would get the Dragons off the bottom, I'd say.
Potentially, yeah.
To just new coach, new
I
environment.
think they're
you know?
I think they're favourites for Wooden Spoon
yeah.
next year.
I could see him doing enough. They're doing enough sort of.
It's just injuries are going
Stuff
to make
there.
it. If injuries happen in those lower teams,
They're
like
fucked.
just say Ben Hunt gets fucked or
Mm.
whatever early on, like they're fucked.
Who would you say would be? Who's going to be your early prediction for Dally M next year? Who do you think's going to have a fucking done year?
Can't go past Caitlin Pollard again. Yeah.
I'm going to go. It never seems to be the absolute gun. Like, it's never like a. It doesn't normally seem to be like a Cleary or something. It
No,
seems
'cause
to
they're in
be
a good
someone
team,
who's like, yeah.
It's normally the players that are in a average good team because they're the best player every week. Cleary, it's going to be hard because like Lua's the best one week. Fucking the forwards are the best one week. Like whatever. That's what shot Sean Johnson in the foot at the
Yeah.
end because all the forwards were good in that last game.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm going to go.
Who are you gonna
I'll go Reece Walsh.
go? Okay,
I think he would have been there close this year.
he would have. Maybe
But-
like a Scotty Drink.
I think he was. Nah, I did him last year and he fucked me.
Yeah,
Remember?
but that was from suspension and shit.
So
But same with Reece Walsh.
I don't.
But
wanna
he
go-
was up there.
towards the end. He
Yeah.
had a shocker at the start of the year. Even like he came back and he wasn't good before he got suspended.
No.
Then afterwards he was shit as well. Like he
Yeah.
wasn't good at all. So
Maybe someone like Hammer,
mm.
like for the Dolphins.
yeah, he'd have to just he sort of lost a bit of steam towards the end of the year. I thought
Yeah, that was just like after Origin burn.
after Origin, he
just putting him
and
in
they
center,
were struggling
putting
as
him in
well.
fullback.
Yeah,
Like it
that was
weird.
stupid.
Yeah. They'll have Herbie will be their plug now
Yeah.
next year, and he can just be the fullback.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
There was a couple of news things we might just cover as well before we head off.
Yeah.
Like I know there was a Crichton one going to
Angus,
Union.
yep.
Oh,
1.6 for 2 years.
Apparently,
As
like,
if you'd want to go.
well, rumor is that he wants to go, but he doesn't. But if he goes, he has to play for the Western Force, and he doesn't want to go to Western Australia.
Right. Why does he have to go there? Is that
That's the
only
thing
team
when
that want
you
him?
well, that's the thing with like Wallabies
They'll just put you
contracts.
wherever.
They put you where, yeah, because like the Wallabies are
Because
sort
like
of.
you want him.
We
why
were talking
not,
about
like-
it last week on the pod about
Yeah, I don't.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're talking about like you
It's
know
dumb.
what like the issue is to play for the Wallabies you need to play in Australia.
Yeah.
So they can only choose players that play in Australia, but then you know the Super Rugby's shit. So what happens is all the good players go to you know play in Japan or French rugby and all
Yeah.
this, but then you can't choose those players because they've got this
the
rule.
eligibility.
Wouldn't
yeah.
you just open it up and
They
then
were
all your
talking
good
about that
players
a while
go
ago,
and
yeah.
fucking play in these places?
Yeah.
You know, the Wallabies then have to pay fuck all for these contracts because these
They're getting
cunts are
paid by
getting paid all
Japan
this
or
money
whatever,
already.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then
They just pay them the little top
paying
up
the
from
little top
Wallabies,
up,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's all good.
Yeah.
You know, it's just wild,
It's
man.
dumb.
They don't do
They're
it.
fucking dumb.
Yeah.
They're shooting himself in the foot. No one watches it here anyway.
It's shit, bro.
Yeah.
No one watches it. So,
No.
yeah. I don't know. I could see him going. I don't think we need him anymore.
No.
And he hasn't had
When
a great year.
Tupanua comes back next year,
Yeah.
like, he's a sweet.
Yeah, we were talking about last week. Like
Yeah.
Toops. We got Toops. We got Egan Butcher, Nat Butcher. We got Sia Wong. Radley can play out there if he needs to.
Yeah, Dom Young's brothers, like a second
Dom
rower
Young's
center, I
second
think.
rower.
Yeah.
You know, there's a few there, man.
Yeah.
I don't think we
No, I think-
desperately need him.
Nah. Still got
I'd
Connor
rather
Watson
clear up
and-
800-900 and fucking
Yeah.
you know put it towards someone else.
Yeah.
You know.
Keeping other people,
Yeah.
upgrades and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, as you said, like, you know, I think this will probably be Kiri's last year. Then you probably got, you know, if they look for another half or they keep Sandon Smith, they probably need to upgrade him by end of next year anyway. You know,
I just thought of it then. Like, do you reckon like Roosters would make a play at Ezra Man?
I don't think we need him. Like, I don't. Not that I don't think we need him. I don't think he's the player we need.
What, an electric half?
Yeah.
You have Walker and Ezra Man would be sick.
Yeah, I think we need like a more
Game
of
manager.
a game manager.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't think Walker's gonna be that for us.
Mm.
And
So you think Walker would be more than 6?
yeah,
Yeah.
I heard him talking about it. I think it was, what was I listening to it on? I don't know. It was on a podcast the other day. It was Mark Boris talking to Matty Johns. It was on the Mark Boris
will listen to
podcast.
that one.
You did?
Yeah.
Did you hear how he talked about, like they were talking about halves, and he said, what do you reckon about, he said, like, when you look at Robbo, what sort of half do you reckon he would like compared to...
Yeah, like Johns and Cronk.
John's, like a Johns and Cronk, and he said, Robbo likes the organising half.
Yeah, he wants the Cronk, but Bennett would want the Johns.
The Johns, yeah. And as soon as I heard that, I thought, we don't have either of those.
No.
Neither of our players are that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like, well,
You need to get
if he
that.
thinks that,
Why isn't he trying to get it?
well, like, he hasn't got it because that's how it's just fallen,
Yeah.
right? So I think he wanted Walker to sort of be that, and then he
Yeah.
was like, well, I think what they wanted to do was they wanted to play Walker 6.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he
And
did,
Kiri's
remember?
meant to be the...
Kiri was supposed to turn to that organising half
Yeah.
like he did in the final,
Yeah.
like in the grand final and stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, he's going
can
to
do
play
it.
more into that
Yeah,
role as he
yeah.
gets older.
But
And
it's not his style.
he didn't, and then he didn't, right? So
Yeah.
they're trying to, he's just fallen into what he's got. But I think when he does move on from Kiri in the next year or so, I think he's got one more
He'll be
year.
looking for that game manager.
I think you need that game manager.
What, like, who do you...
Even if he plays in the 6,
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
No. Do you think like someone like Brodie Croft over in the UK, apparently he's like killing it at the moment, and that's what he was
Yeah, but he was
Cronk
dog
2.0.
shit over
No,
here,
I know,
bro.
but you see like Hastings, right? Like they go away, play a few years over in the UK, come back, like learn their craft a bit more. Maybe he could be like the guy. Probably get him for cheap.
I think the only reason we're thinking about it and like looking at who we can get is because it's the Roosters, and we think, oh, well, they'll buy out and buy someone.
Well, they will though.
Why can't you just do, like, Sandon Smith's shown he's been good.
Yeah,
he
but
was great before.
But is he the game manager?
Maybe he hasn't had a shot, man. Really, he's been coming off at half, like in the
like
in the middle and
shit,
utility, and he played a couple of games at half, and he did pretty well. Like, he just needs to,
If you like a couple of preseasons,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Potentially.
they've got
But
no
is
one
that
else.
like a risk? But that's not what Roosters are about. Are they like putting that, giving him 2 years? They want success now. They
Well,
want to get that
they can still
guy
do that.
now.
They'll probably still stick with Kiri this year.
Yeah.
Or
I know.
like next year.
Yeah. But then like, Sandon Smith's not getting that opportunity.
Yeah, but
to
he'll still
do
probably
it.
play the utility. So he'll
Yeah.
still come on if there's injuries. He'll play.
Yeah. But you got to play the role, like week to week, right?
he'll probably
Someone
just
like Brodie Croft's doing it.
yes and no. I've seen how many teams play, like a player that in utility for a year or two, and then the following year, like look at Pappenhausen. He played utility. Look at fucking Nico Hines.
Yeah.
He was a utility for a couple of years.
Yeah.
They just wanted to get him into the games and get up to the speed of the games. And
Yeah.
he still played like 3, maybe 4 or 5 games at halfback this year, because
It's-
Walker was out.
Yeah, I
So
suppose
he's still,
if, like,
you just want to give him, dabble him a little bit.
if
you
they
know?
commit to like training him there,
Yeah.
like you're the backup half, then maybe
That's what I mean, man. So and
But
then
they,
you know,
like-
give him some first.
But if
team
he doesn't
reps.
work out to be it, like it's not really a Roosters thing. To
Put
be,
it this
like,
way,
waste
dude.
2
If we're
years.
halfway through the year and Kiri's not performing, I reckon
We'll
Sam
see.
Smith's playing.
Yeah,
You have to.
Like, fuck him
Apparently, like Robbo loves Kiri. Like it's
Yeah.
like his child. That's why he never gets any
That's
criticism from
yeah.
the Roosters, right? But if it's not going right and we haven't done well the last couple of years, like we did all right, but like, you know, what over the
Not
whole
to-
of the
yeah,
season
yeah.
we hadn't. I could see him moving on from him because
yeah. Well,
you know,
especially
he's
since
going to
his
be
last
done at the
year.
end of the year
Yeah.
anyway, man.
Is
You're not going to
reti-
fucking drop
Is he
Walker again.
retiring or what?
Who knows, man?
How old is he?
He's doing a lot of media stuff lately, so
Yeah,
I could
I
see
seen
him.
him on
I could
Fox,
see him
yeah.
retiring. I don't think he'd move overseas.
No,
Not
not when he's got his foot in the door, like media.
I
and
think
yeah.
that he's like pretty. His family's pretty like set up in Sydney and stuff, and like
But I wonder if he'd like, would he go somewhere for like that last year or 2 years,
maybe
like
I don't-
Tigers or some
yeah.
shit, you know?
He's had a lot of head knocks and shit. Maybe he
He's
just wants
just
to.
Hang up the boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's like 32, something
Yeah,
like that.
true. It might be just like I've made my money. Like
Yeah.
he would have made a bit of money.
Yeah, he'd be doing all right, man. So
Yeah.
won a couple of premierships, 3 premierships. you
Yeah,
know.
one with South too.
So
yeah.
pretty good career.
pretty good.
Yeah. Anyway, we got sidetracked there, but
So,
I don't know. I don't even know how we got onto that.
don't either.
I think we were talking about Crichton.
We
Fuck, I
were.
don't even know. I don't know what
So
happened
yeah,
there.
good work,
Yeah.
Crichton. Yeah.
What else do we want to? It was one or two others, eh?
That's the one I sent you the other day. Tom Jenkins
Yeah, I saw
going to
that.
the Knights.
Yeah,
He was 22 in the squad for last night.
yeah,
So, I mean, good.
must be pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah, he scored 5 tries in 5 games this year for him.
yeah,
So obviously a finisher. That's what we need.
yeah,
Not going to replace Dom Young, but someone, right?
yeah. Exactly,
Needed to
man.
get somebody. So
Yeah, no, that's right.
yeah.
I was seeing. Oh yeah, the Blues thing.
Oh, Freddie.
We'll just
Yeah.
talk about that real quick.
Yep.
So yeah, obviously Freddie's apparently. Well, they haven't necessarily like
No, it
the
hasn't come
Blues
out
haven't
as
come
like
out, but
that.
everyone's reported it that he sort of stepped down.
I read a comment or like something like from him saying that he thinks like they're only offering like a 5-month
Mm.
like contract. It's not like it's been like year to year, right? But they're only offering like 5-month contract, 2 months before Origin, and then for Origin. As opposed, so I think what the direction they're going to go is trying to get coaches that are already coaching. Apparently,
So they want him to stop before the
they're
Origin
gonna,
actually happens or after it.
no start what's 2 months before? It's probably the start of the season,
Right.
and then when Origin's over, that's the end of the contract.
Mm.
So the last game or Origin or whatever, or 2 days after.
Yeah,
Whatever
like
it
you
is.
finish. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't
Um,
like it.
No, he didn't want he doesn't want a 5-month contract. He wants like security and all that shit, right?
Yeah, but he's like, it's not going to be. Surely that's not like where he's making his money from, bro.
No, I know, but like
making his money
if
from
you're the
doing-
guy, you want to be doing it year round. Go and do like grassroots shit, like in the off season for the Blues and like.
Yeah,
Blah,
but he
blah,
still
blah,
can
whatever.
this off season,
Yeah,
and
but
then
like ongoing.
into Origin. But then after Origin, it's like, cool, man, we're moving on. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
or like we'll reassess.
I think they only offered him a 1 5-month contract. Like he wants a couple.
Yeah,
Like he
well,
wants a
fuck.
couple of years, whatever, however it worked.
You haven't been performing, mate. You've lost
No,
the last 2.
100%.
With
Yeah,
a better,
yeah.
but probably like maybe not this year, but definitely the year before. Like especially in that last game, they had no Munster or nothing.
No, should have won.
Should have won.
We should have won the first game this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so like you haven't been performing.
No.
You can't just get what you want because you're not performing, bro.
Apparently, like he sort of hinted at the 5-month contract being a thing for potentially coaches that are coaching at the moment. And I saw another comment. I don't know how accurate it or whatever it is, but it was like potentially it could be like Bellamy and Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, I saw that. I just
Yeah.
had that up now.
Yeah.
I've
Which would
also
be
seen
weird.
that apparently Laurie Daly's another
Yeah,
one there.
Seen that as well.
And us, yeah.
Like
And
apparently
then it was weird, you know, the one ages ago we said about Matt King. I
Mm.
saw he was going to be an assistant.
Yeah. I still think Boyd Cordner would be the go.
Yeah, I just don't think he's there yet. You need to have him an assistant for a year.
Billy
or so.
Slater was like not there.
I just think put Gould in for a year, mate. He'd do
For a
it.
little Bennett.
We need a bit
caretaker.
of, yeah. we need a bit of hope, mate. Bring Gould in. Corden will be under you for a year.
It's not bad.
Him and
we
Matt
said that,
King.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him, Matt King, Phil Gould for a year.
Get Joey in there, like, actually doing shit.
Yeah.
Joey was only there, like, consulting.
I think
and
if
shit.
Bellamy finished this year, I'd say Bellamy.
100%.
Like,
Oh, that's what we said, hey.
Yeah. We said Bellamy.
Get Gould in, then Bellamy after, when his
Well, we just
contract
said,
runs out.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what we did say.
Gould
yeah.
for a year, and then when Bellamy's contract's over, get him in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, maybe, like, do that.
Get
Bellamy
Bordner
does a year or two,
Get
Corden
Corden
underneath
in,
him, and then fucking go
he's the
Corden.
long term for the next 6 years.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or Matt King, like whoever wants
Have
to
them
do
both.
it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
see who's better or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Matt King's been fucking assistant coach for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
for
knows,
us.
he knows
You know
how
what I
it
mean?
goes. Yeah.
He's done on-field stuff in the box, like all of it, man. So that'd probably be the way to go. But
They won't though.
Watch the
'cause they're
space, eh?
fucked, Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's about it.
That's about it.
Cool. Thanks for joining in for
Thanks
another
for
the season, I guess.
Thanks for
eh?
the year. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been we were sort of saying before the pod. I think the last few weeks have sort of felt like what I'm sure like a actual NRL season feels like for the players. Like it's definitely dragged on a bit.
Yeah, like 28
especially
weeks
once
is a
our
long,
team's
man.
dropped out. We'll just be like,
Fucking
oh
hell.
fucking hell. But
Yeah.
nah, it's been fun. Hey,
It's been good, man.
Yeah.
Can't wait to do it again next year.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have a little bit of time off, maybe a few weeks, and and just sort of see what happens within
I think,
the
like,
sporting world, and then we'll sort of come back and have a bit of a
in
pod.
a few weeks or a month. Like we'll come back, talk about Australia, how they've been going.
Yeah, talk about
A bit
that.
of cricket,
Bit
maybe.
of cricket. Yeah, whatever else is going on in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
sweet.
so.
Cool. All right.
Righto.
Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. As
you.
we always say, if you haven't, please subscribe, like, and do all those.
On social media.
Yeah,
Stuff.
all those things. And we'll see you soon. Catch up.
See ya.